Phil.
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, Dionyos Royall here. Just wanted to come guys and share something with you today. I'm taking part of the 21-day challenge and wanted to do video 2. I did video 1 and it was basically about living your dreams, following your dreams, and stay focused. Today's message is going to be based on scripture. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Now, let me explain a little bit to you about what that means, and let me give you my story behind obedience being better than sacrifice. Some of you guys know that my family and I, we were in Florida from 2007 up until recently. But for those of you who don't know, let me share a little bit of that story with you. We were living in Florida. We were in Kissimmee, right down the street from Disney World, where all the pixie dust is sprinkled around, or Disney World. If you guys have been to Disney World, you're familiar with that. But we were doing pretty well in Florida. My wife, she was a sous chef on one of the resorts, one of the Disney resorts. And my daughter actually worked there as well. And I was an accountant for a property management company. And we were pretty well to do when we were in Orlando, Florida. And you guys know the weather is simply beautiful. And a lot of people ask, why would you guys come back to Chicago? Why would you leave Florida to come back to Chicago? Well, let me share the reason why we're in Chicago and why we're headed back to Florida and how we're going to get there. We followed our ministry, and our ministry was online. And we fully believe that our minister heard from the Father. And last July, we responded to a request that he put out. He wanted some members to come and help him and work full time in the ministry in North Carolina. So after going back and forth with it for a short while, my wife and I decided that we would leave everything and we would go and work full time in the ministry. So we volunteered to work full time in our ministry. Our daughter at the time, she was still in teenage years, just finished high school, and she wasn't quite ready to make that type of leap. So she asked if it was okay if she came back up to Chicago and stayed with grandma while we went and worked full time in the ministry. And of course, we let our daughter follow her own will, live her own mind. So we allowed her to do that. We went and we left our jobs. We broke our lease. We took our vehicles that we had, new model vehicles, like 2012 Toyota Camry, 2010 Jeep Wrangler, took them back to the dealership. So left our jobs, broke our lease, no security deposit, and took a ding on our credit to go and work full time in the ministry. Now, we left Florida and we moved to North Carolina, packed up everything that we had, put it on a U-Haul truck, and we moved to Florida. Now, we were there from July and we worked there in the ministry. He provided room and board for us. So we stayed in a trailer park while we worked in the ministry. While we were there, we learned some wonderful things. If any of you guys are familiar with aquaponics, we actually, my wife and myself, with the help of one of the other brothers there, we created and built an aquaponic system with the PVC piping, with the 275 gallon drums that we cut open and flipped over, made fish tanks, took the top part, put in rock so we can grow the vegetation, and the water filtered itself from the fish pond, and it filtered out through the PVC and came out, and we created milk filtration systems for it, where the poop water became fertilizer. That fertilizer was put through the system came back up, and ran into the potting where the vegetation was growing. So we had fruits and vegetables growing. Once that water reached a certain level, it drained back out, went back down into the fish tank, and it just continuously recycled itself. And that's aquaponics for those of you who've never heard of it. But we learned a lot of hands-on things while we were there. We learned a lot more about our personal relationship with our Father. Well, what happened was November, around the first week in November, we were called to the minister's, his place where he lived. And he told us that our time at the ministry sight was over. Now, we were in Florida 7 years. And we left Florida to come work full-time in the ministry. And in a matter of 4 months, we were called to his trailer and told that our time there was up. So, responding in the flesh, and yes, God, this is our minister that I'm talking about, and he's telling us that time's over. I said, we've only been here like 4 months. We gave up everything, to come and work with you and work for you full-time in the ministry. And he said, do you really think you gave up anything? And I said, yeah, we left our jobs. We took hits on our credit. We broke our lease. And he looked me square in the eye and he said, did you own your cars? And I said, no. He said, did you own the home that you lived in, or were you renting? I said, we were renting. He said, did you own the company that you work for? I said, no, that was the jobs that we had. He said, well, you didn't give up anything. Do you think that you can get other jobs? Do you think you can get other cars? Do you think you can repair your credit? Now, I'm taken aback now, and you're probably listening to this like taking this back as well. And I said, yeah, we could, but that's not the point. We gave up everything. And he said, you didn't really give up anything. A lot of people think that they are making sacrifices. He said, do you think that I hear from the Father? I said, yeah, I believe that you hear from the Father, or I wouldn't have brought my wife out here to work full-time in the ministry. And he said, well, if you believe that I hear from the Father, I'm telling you, your time is up. You got 30 days to move. I'll give you guys $1,200 to relocate. Okay, guys, $1,200 to our name. Can't go back to Florida with $1,200 because we have to find a place to stay. We got to find jobs again, and we need transportation. All right, we're from Chicago originally, so what options do we have? Try to go to Florida where we know nobody and start with the $1,200, or do we call our family and see if we can stay there? Well, we go back to our trailer, we contemplate, we pray on it, and we're given direction, call family. So we call family, and my wife's cousin Brad, he said, I have a 1-bedroom apartment, but you and your family are welcome here to stay in that bedroom until you guys get on your feet. Now, that's nothing but the Father. We were able to find a place within 30 minutes to an hour. We had 30 days, so we were okay. We got somewhere where we can go. So he calls us back. And he said, come down here, I need to talk to you guys. So we thinking he's going to retract the statement and let us stay. So we go back, and he said, what if I told you guys you had a week to leave? What would you do? So I said, well, if you say we got a week, then I guess that's what we'd have to try to make it happen in a week. And he said, well, that's what you got. You guys got 7 days. Now, guys, you guys are listening to this story, and I know you're probably feeling it right in the pit of your stomach. What kind of minister is this? How could he do this to a person? How could he uproot a family like this and then in 4 months tell you guys you got to leave and give you 30 days and then take it to a week? It's incredible. Guys, that was our reality. So I didn't tell him that we had a place to stay, but I said, okay, we'll have to make it happen in a week. And he said, I know you guys have a lot of things here. If you want to take half of that money or some of that money and get your airplane tickets, I'll send your stuff back. So I said, well, let us think about it. So we went back to the trailer we were staying in, and my wife would say, there's no way that I'm leaving anything that I have here. We will have to get a rental truck, and we're packing it up, and we have to go. So that's what we did. The rental truck was $300. The gas was $300 to get back to Chicago, so that left us $600 once we got back to Chicago. Now, we remember I said we have an online ministry, and he actually did have a service, and he asked for benevolent offers for us because we were leaving. And he said whenever he got that together that he would send this to us. We just had to give him a forwarding address. We said, okay. Now, did I still believe that he heard from the Father? At the time, it was kind of iffy because I didn't understand. Like, you're listening and you don't understand, and you're probably saying, what does this have to do with obedience being better than sacrifice? Because you guys gave up a lot. in the natural. Well, here's what happened. We get back to Chicago. Now, when we're leaving, we're packing up everything. We cleaned up the trailer just the way we found it. And we were leaving. My wife said, "Why does he look so sad? He looks like he's about to cry," as we were pulling off. I really didn't pay too much attention to it, but I said, I don't know. I don't know. Well, to make a long story short, we get back to Chicago. We're staying at Cousin Brad's house. Thank you, Brad, from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I know that the Father is going to bless you. Indeed. More time than you ever know. And he's already started to. But 2 days after we arrived in Chicago, we received a call from the minister. And he said that, "I'm going to send you guys an additional $500. Do you have an address?" And so we said yes. He said, "I'm going to go to the mailbox and I'm going to put this in the mail today." So he did that. Guys, listen. The day that $500 package got to us, the next day, the minister was called home. Now, here's the revelation that I got behind that, which leads me to telling you guys about how obedience is better than sacrifice. When he made a call and said he needed help in the ministry, we responded to that call. We thought that we were sacrificing something to come and work in the ministry. This is how I know that he did hear from the Father, because the Father told him, "In their obedience, I will bless them. I will take care of them. They've been away from their family 7 years. Send them back to let them fellowship with their family and to share with them the love that I've shown them. The teaching that you've taught them, let them go back and share it with their family. Son, it is time for me to take you home. I will bless them in their obedience." So guys, we didn't, well, in the physical, we thought that we sacrificed and gave up stuff. What we found out spiritually is that because we were obedient to the Father's voice when he spoke through his messenger to come and serve him, he took care of us. He has blessed us beyond measure. Guys, since we've been home in Chicago, we came November 9th. Found employment. My wife found employment at a restaurant in December. We moved into the place where we're in now in January. Guys, we have an 1,800 square feet place. We came in January. I applied for AT&T in December. I interviewed in January and I started in February. I've been with them almost a year. In a year's time, we have been put in a position where the Father says, being obedient to me and showing others how to be obedient, I'm going to bless you indeed. Guys, this is January 4th, 2016. My wife no longer works at that restaurant. My wife works full-time from home. In obedience, it's much better than sacrifice. We have a place to stay. We have a stable income. We have transportation. We have a business where we are giving our hearts and showing other people how to be obedient. Guys, if you are looking at this and you were thinking, I don't have the money to get started in this business. I want to start a home-based business too. I want to take my talents and my gifts and I want to share them with the world. But I don't want to take the last money that I have and sacrifice it. See, that's that word. I don't want to make that sacrifice. Guys, if any fiber in your body was telling you, you should start this business, you can build a business from home, something deep inside you said that you can do it. Be obedient to it. Take action right now. Guys, if we didn't take action, if we weren't obedient, we wouldn't be able to share our stories with you, to share our plight with you. to talk about the journeys. Guys, last year, this time, we were homeless. We were staying in our cousin's 1-bedroom apartment. We didn't have our own home. Thankfully, he gave us shelter, but really, we were homeless. In our obedience and not seeing with the natural eye, but listening to the heartbeat of the Father saying, go forth, son. Don't be fearful. That's false evidence appearing real. You have to believe. What you believe is what you will achieve. My wife told me, she said, honey, I want to be home by December 31st, 2015. She's spoken into an existence. Honestly, guys, I'll tell you, I had a little apprehension. But I had to dig down. We had to go back and do you remember when we were obedient? Remember in our obedience what he did and where he's brought us now? Guys, my call to action to you is be obedient. You're here because something told you deep down you can build a business from home. You can replace your income from home. You're not making a sacrifice because you're taking some of your money and you're investing in yourself. You're being obedient to that calling that's on your life because somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Somebody needs to feel what it is that you have to share. And it's up to you to be obedient. It's up to you to take what was put into you and share it with the world. This is just a tool and a vehicle to make it happen. Guys, step out on your faith. Obedience is better than any sacrifice. I am so grateful that I was listening to being obedient and not worried about any sacrifices that I had to make. That's my cry out to you. Move right now in obedience to that spirit that's inside you, that's in your heart, that's in your mind, that's telling you, this is what I need to be doing. This is the direction that I need to be going. This is the path that I need to take my family down. And I'm not going to be scared anymore. Believe that you can do it. You will achieve it. It's your reality. Make it a reality. Those dreams that you have are yours. Create them. Be obedient when that spirit, that inner man, that inner woman tells you, I should be doing this. Be obedient to that voice. Take action right now. Get started with us. Guys, we're on a journey that is big enough for all of you guys. Whatever your dream is, it fits. Whatever your passion is, it fits. Whatever your desire is, it fits into you being obedient and taking action now. I believe in you. My wife believes in you. My daughter believes in you. Everybody on our team believes that you can do it. Don't you? Absolutely. That's all I wanted to share with you today. That obedience is better than sacrifice. You're not sacrificing anything when you want to believe in yourself and then you want to improve in yourself. You're being obedient to the calling on your life. Take action, not now, but right now. We look forward to working with you and sharing more about your passions and your beliefs with the world. This is Dionyos Royall signing off. See you guys on the next video.